Oh, the worst.
I know.
Because I would always start crying. But we were listening to it and it was sweet and you went to go get gas.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Ruined a moment with getting gas.
Yeah, you did pull over to get gas.
That's better than having gas.
I might have preferred you having gas. That would have been funny.
I don't know. You know what they say, doesn't pay rent, it's gotta go. Gotta let it out. Hey, howdy, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Mike's Monday Jams, the official podcast of music appreciators everywhere. Today we're going to be talking about If It's Love by the band Train. Let's get it. It's love. We decide that it's forever. No one else could do it better. If it's love. Alrighty, first one of February for you, February 5th, 2024. And also the first band to be talked about twice, have a whole episode dedicated to Twice on the podcast era. Isn't that crazy? I think we're gonna have to start and we'll have to have this discussion, and we welcome any feedback. Because normally I've been switching up the seasons of Mike's Monday Jams in the month of February, because I started it in February. So, and that must have been like 2019. So, that was now 5 years from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So wow, look at us now, just from throwing up songs on the gram on stories to now, actually talking about them and actually making videos and digesting it a little further.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. So happy 5th birthday to Mike's Monday Jams.
But yeah, it's like so we started the pod in July.
Yes. So that doesn't match up with the Instagram timeline, but
unless you did double the seasons.
Yeah,
because July would have been 6 months ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I might just honestly stop putting it on my own Instagram because we have a whole Instagram dedicated to the show.
I don't know. That brings you joy, and you have your stories.
I don't know. Now it's confusing. I don't want to confuse the masses. I'm trying to be accessible.
Whatever you want to do.
We'll see, TBD. But nevertheless, first one of February.
What are your thoughts on February?
What are my February is probably one of my least favorite months of the year. I don't know. There's just nothing really. I don't know. It's not like it's like too far after Christmas. It's still really cold. I mean, you're probably gonna get some snow. Probably not. You're not to spring break yet. I mean, you don't get President's Day off anymore.
No, and it's like, it used to be where, never mind, take that back. You'll get a twinge of spring, like maybe twice in the month of February. It'll be like one day it's 65, which is what's happening at home right now. Maybe we won't experience that this year, which is even worse, to not get the twinge of spring. Even though Puxatawny Phil did not see his shadow, right?
Honestly, spoiled to the major chord. That one, didn't want an extra 2 weeks of winter.
Sorry, didn't mean to spoil your major chord with the...
but that's fine. I'll think of another one.
I almost called him a gopher.
He's not a gopher.
What's the difference between a groundhog and a gopher?
That I could not tell you. You would have to do some more research on that one.
All right.
Nevertheless, but yeah, first one of February. It's an exciting February though, because it is a leap year, so that is exciting. That is pretty cool. That only happens, once every 4 years. And
my boss at work, we were having our daily afternoon little 5-minute catch up meeting, and it was the other day. It was February 1st, and he was like, "Oh, February, short month, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Oh, we were just making small talk till everybody got in the meeting," and I was like, I was like, oh, like, it's leap year, we get an extra day. And it seemed like he's a great boss, great guy. Kind of seemed like maybe he didn't understand the concept of leap year, because then he was like, oh, our analytics are going to be boosted, like February is going to look so good. I'm like, it's still fewer days than any other day of the
There's
year.
There's no other month that has 29 days.
Yeah, no,
Or 28 days.
I was
for
like,
that matter.
it's still gonna be less than any other month because it still has fewer days, which I don't think he was getting the gist of. And I'm kind of like, how is this not adding up? But I think he just wanted to seem excited. He's very positive. I think he just wanted to seem excited.
It's fine.
So I'm happy for him that he was excited about that. But I don't think what he was excited about is going to occur.
So if you're born on leap year, do you celebrate your birthday on the 28th or March 1st?
I think you celebrate it on March 1st.
Or both.
No, I think you celebrate on March 1st because you would have been born the day after February 28th,
Right.
which other year would be March 1st.
I say both. ¿Por qué no los dos, señorita? Why not?
I don't know. When
2
I
days
turned
of
21,
celebration.
everybody said I celebrated too much. So
You should talk to Tommy about that one. But yes, February, woohoo! Rolling right through the winter, hoping spring is right around the corner because it is still cold outside. So, but nevertheless, today's episode was, garnered with the fact that we, Em and I here, EC and MC, as always, are less than 100 days away from getting hitched. So we wanted to highlight
the old
a song.
ball and chain over here.
Ball and chain. We wanted to highlight a song today that's on the wedding playlist, and to also draw attention to the fact that I need to boost the wedding playlist, or we need to boost the wedding playlist, because it's still only like 14 songs long right now. So,
Well, babe,
you know.
it's just songs. We're only putting songs on there that we feel very strongly about.
Okay.
We did hire a DJ. We can't give him a list of more than like maybe 20 songs.
I can't tell him how to do his job.
No, we did pay him a good amount of money to do it himself.
Doesn't he know who I am?
Probably.
Isn't he a listener of Mike's
It's
Monday
probably
Jam?
why he wants to do the wedding.
Listen, big thing. We were watching the Grizzlies game the other day, and when you watch the Grizzlies on local TV, like on the Valley Sports Network or whatever, they play all the local commercials, and Grind City Media always advertises their podcast or whatever. So, we were like in the commercial breaks, just like looking up the podcasts, and like we had more 5-star ratings than most Grind City Media podcasts, baby. Mike's Monday Jam is going places.
Just as we do, however, we are just two people that do all of this ourselves.
Yes.
Versus them that are...
They have a whole studio.
They have a whole studio in the FedEx Forum.
Yeah.
Are a small company. It is kind of crazy that they're still... I appreciate the tenacity, but they've been trying to push all those shows for years, and the only one that anybody cares about is Chris Vernon's show, and I can't stand Chris Vernon.
Except the Augusta
except
song.
during the Masters.
Yes.
During the Masters, I can stand Chris Vernon, but the rest of the time, dude needs to chill the hell out.
Kiss Vernon.
Sorry, Kiss, if you were interested in having us on the show. Oh, I'll take it back. I'll take it back.
Yeah, we will put a pause on our hating.
Speaking of the Masters,
Huh?
I realized I'm going to be on my Bachelorette during the Masters, which means on my Bachelorette,
You're
I'm going to be
watching.
making all my girlfriends watch golf. But imagine
I would be so
the
proud.
Masters at the beach. That's so fun.
Just no making those nasty pimento.
Oh, absolutely not. No
Sandwiches,
pimento. But I
whatever.
would love to have the little the juleps that they have. Like that is like
Oh, yeah.
bucket list dream. Like go to the Masters
Oh,
and
for
have
sure.
the julep.
It does seem like a lot of walking, a lot of standing, but it does feel like
You
it'd
can
be
bring
totally
chairs.
worth it. So I'm just saying, like,
Or I guess you get the
I
chairs
mean, would
there.
you be of the school of thought of park it at a single hole, or like
Well,
would
I
you
think,
want to follow
I
specific
think
people
from when
around?
Dad and I have caught that you can.
Here comes the yawn.
I'm yawning.
Here comes
I'm
the
not
yawn.
bored, I swear.
Here comes
I
the
think that you can take the chairs and take them to wherever, and like the way the Masters works with all the rules and everything, like you put your chair somewhere like people don't touch them.
Ah, it's a courtesy thing.
So it's like that's your home base, and you can leave the chairs there, and like
So you
nothing's
would
going to
wanna
happen to them.
plan it, park it somewhere, and then
hmm
cool. That works. Works for
But
me.
yeah, but we'll be driving back to Orlando for me to fly home on Master Sunday, and I'm like, dang, I'll have to watch it in the car because that's the most important day. Unless nobody that I care about is
it
like,
doesn't matter. It's still like the sports spectacle because even
yes,
then,
no, I'd
even
still
if
watch
it's
it,
not-
but I won't care as much to like be like on my phone watching it. But like, if Rory could win the Masters, like everyone is going to be paying attention to it.
Like, part of the charm of major tournaments like that is like you get invested in maybe somebody you don't know because they have some like really cool story, and then you're like, oh, OMG.
Nick Dunlap,
Sure.
the Bama boy who just turned pro,
Mm-hmm.
he wins the Masters.
That'd be
crazy.
Cool. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be crazy.
But what a turn of events. Didn't think you'd be adding a major golf tournament into your bachelorette weekend.
I just realized it this week because like just this week they've like started, putting the classic ad everywhere, and I'm like, oh my god, April 13th is Master Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I'm doing April 13th.
Anyway, highlighting a song from the wedding playlist. This is one that Emma and I adore. That I don't know. It's a really good tune, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about the band themselves because we have a whole episode dedicated to Train, as they're now featured the second time in the podcast era, as previously stated. But what's not to love about Pat Monahan and his crew? So
and his son.
And his son Rock.
I almost called him Brick.
No.
But that's Stephen A. on General Hospital.
Brick, this is...
Woman, you stole your heart.
Brick.
Brick
my
Monahan.
God, wow. How did nobody realize until recently?
Until this past 2 weeks, we had no idea Stephen A. was a semi-regular on General Hospital.
I mean, he's a man of many talents.
Wow.
One of my
give
many
us your
idols.
give it to us.
Give what? I kind of like Charizard. He got wings. He can fly. He's got claws on his feet. Could use them as weapons. He's not as limited as, say, Blastoise or Venusaur.
You know what? I kind of like Charizard. The fire on the tail, the wings, he can fly.
There you go.
Mike's been saying this day and night, and
it's funny
all the time.
He is genuinely a goofy guy. Would love to meet him. Would love to. You talk about dream bachelorette invites Stephen A.
Smith.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can invite him to the wedding. He can be one of the celebrity invites to the wedding.
He is your coworker. You can say from one coworker to another.
I can send him an evite.
You sure can. Maybe. Fingers crossed.
I mean, I think he gets fan mail like on his podcast.
That's kind of fun.
So we could invite him.
I'll have to start watching. But this album, we've not talked about, Save Me San Francisco, came out in 2009. This was one of the ones that I got, and this is a new video idea, and if you're listening, you're going to get a preview to this. I guess core memory CD purchases from childhood. I think that'd be a fun back and forth conversation with you, because this would be one for me. I remember buying Save Me San Francisco with my whatever allowance I got that week from cutting the grass and helping out around the house, from the Germantown Target, in 2009 to 2010, whatever. And I cranked it, man. I put it on the iPod.
You bought it from the Germantown Target?
Mm-hmm.
You had your own Target.
I know, but I think we were just around the area doing something else.
Infiltrating our Target.
Yes, and then we popped in, saw it, and I was like, ooh, this is that new album or whatever. And
cute.
And I loved it. I put it on the iPod, and I listened to it all the time, start to finish. And I think it's the only Train album I've ever listened to start to finish, but it's a pretty great album. I don't know if you have any specific childhood memories with this one.
It was just one of those things that my mom talks about a lot, that I would listen with her in the car. Things like all the pop rocks.
Yeah.
And all the country, all those things we would listen to together in the car. So this is very me and my mom chilling in the car kind of vibes.
Chilling is the opposite of stressing.
Yeah, it is.
It is. So Yeah, it's also just like a generally like really good feeling album.
Mm-hmm.
They're generally speaking very good feeling band, except with their most popular song of all time is Super Depressing, but you
But
love
it
it anyway.
sounds happy.
Kinda, yeah. It's more like hopeful,
Yeah.
and reminiscent. But I remember having the CD, and yeah, it's probably their best work. It rivals California 37
Mm-hmm.
for that title. 4 singles, with the first one being, of course, you know it. The fridge song, as Emma likes to call it. Hey Soul Sister.
I call it the fridge song because when I was little, it was in the GE commercial, and they specifically were like closing the fridge listening to the song.
It's a fridge
So
song.
I didn't know what the song was, and I asked my dad. I was like, "Hey, can you put the fridge song on my iPod Nano?"
It's like
We had to decipher what I meant.
I bet the fridge song and like House of Gold were like the reason why ukulele sales just like skyrocketed.
Oh, absolutely.
In like 2011, 2012.
When I had a ukulele, and I did have 2.
And Charlie, famously, her little brother, actually pulled one apart really and put a
You
guitar
mean an
pickup.
electric ukulele? Because he was like, "Can I destroy your ukulele?" And I was like, "Sure." But
Shredding
the
on the
only song I
ukulele.
ever learned how to play on it was "Hey Soul Sister," because I just thought it was too hard. I don't know how y'all all play the guitar. I thought the ukulele was too hard. I didn't want to put the effort
It's
into it.
only 4 strings. It has like weirder chord shapes than guitar
It hurt
does,
my
but
hand, even though it's small.
the strings are like not even metal. They're like,
I mean, I can't reach it.
it's a tiny neck.
I have tiny hands.
Excuses. So you succumbed to the ukulele trend, but didn't follow
Absolutely.
through.
I tried to learn House of Gold. Didn't learn it.
And then and the video of them on tour and they play "Can't Help Falling in Love," the Elvis cover.
Mhm.
It was like those 3 things. It's like ukulele sales just went. So, but yeah, the fridge song, this song we're talking about today, "Marry Me," and the title track "Save Me San Francisco," which is a bop. And a fun one to hear them play live at that. But a song that means a lot to us, has some history here, and thinking about things on the wedding playlist, other things that I think have to be played. His cheeseburger.
Of course. I actually thought about that being my processional, but
Yeah.
the string quartet we're having at the wedding said that they didn't know how
have
to
the
play it.
arrangement. Sad. The entire 2112 suite by Rush got to play that. We're all gonna sit
I'm
there
not
for
so
21
sure about
minutes,
that one.
or how 23 minutes I think it is, and we're just gonna.
You can play
intensely
that as
listen
you're
to
getting
it.
ready. You can make all the boys listen to that.
And of course, Mambo number 5.
Oh, that is a real must play. Any good party is gonna love hearing Mambo number 5.
Do you have any other must plays?
Well, I mean, I said on the podcast last week that I really want us to listen to Dancer Home. Oh, 5 o'clock somewhere.
That might be, or 10 rounds of Jose Cuervo.
Oh.
But the adverse, of course, got to include the do not plays to the DJ.
Yes, I'm serious about having a do not playlist.
It's probably not a good time for Nat King Cole's "The Christmas Song."
Probably not.
In May, so we should probably scratch that one.
Just not resting on open fire.
Cheers to North, Ruthing North,
Blueberry Faygo.
You would Blueberry. I
Yeah.
love Blueberry Faygo.
Not. At the
I don't
wedding.
need us to play it at the wedding though.
And God forbid somebody put on closing time when we're trying to. No.
I
will
hate being told to
absolutely
leave by hearing closing
not.
time by Simi Song.
Do something else. Like play a better toast to the evening kind of song versus hey, get the hell out. Like I think there's so many better options, but God forbid the DJ plays closing time. He
Yeah.
gonna hear it from me.
Yeah. I don't want to hear "Don't Stop Believing."
Ugh, no. Or Living on a Prayer. Sorry.
I
just
did
a small-
Pilates to Living on a Prayer yesterday. It was on the playlist.
Interesting Pilates song.
It was interesting. Then we did Pilates Thunderstruck, which was why I clicked on it, because I was like, you know, I'm a baby girl. I'll
I'm
do
about to say,
Pilates to
Thinking about
Thunderstruck.
Saban coming out of the tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
Walking out. But the album itself came out in October 2020.
Oh, wait,
Whoa, 2009. What?
I came up with one other must play.
Okay, let's hear it.
Rattling Bog.
Oh, the rattling bog, the bog down in the valley, oh. Where bog, the rattling bog, the bog down in the valley, oh.
We should not tell anybody the rules.
No, it's just everyone figures it out as everyone who knows it starts doing it.
But then the question is it
Wait,
one,
this is actually such a good idea. This is
one-
hilarious.
Is it one massive circle or is it
Oh.
multiple circles? So here,
It's
hold on. No,
at your table.
No, everybody from the wedding party should have a circle.
Oh, yes. It'd be like, okay, at this time you need to play Rattling Bog. We're going to make sure we're in a circle at this time, and then other people can start circling up.
Yeah, it's like we tell them ahead of time. Like, there's going to be a certain point where we're going to play Rattling Bog. Make sure each of you is responsible for a circle. Go. As soon as you start hearing the jig, the slap.
Yes, okay, so it's like everyone in the wedding party is responsible for creating a circle.
Maybe we should have like a keyword where we start like whispering in each other's ears, like
Uncle. Uncle.
uncle. All right, wedding party. If you're listening, keyword's uncle.
The
You know what to
keyword is uncle.
do. You know what to do. And if you don't know, oh, you're in for a hell of a treat, baby.
I don't think there's anyone at our wedding party that doesn't know how to play Rattling Bog.
No, I just meant like for attendees.
Oh, yeah, y'all
you're-
can figure it
If
out.
you're unaware of the
You're gonna figure it
the
out.
premise, then you will be pleasantly surprised.
Oh, that was a great idea I just had.
Good job.
Thanks.
So Save Me San Francisco comes out in October 2009. Their previous album did not do well. It is called For Me It's You. It has no singles at all. Like I tried looking at the track list, be like, oh yeah, but I'm sure I know like something. Nope, not at all.
That's whack.
So no singles, and this was after their first 3 albums that contained like Drops Jupiter, Meet Virginia, Calling All Angels, that sort of thing. But they put out that album and it did not do well at all.
Flop
so they
era.
flopped. They went into a hiatus for a couple years because they did flop, and then they come back to Save Me San Francisco, and like they all stated in interviews like they had like such a great time recording it, like such a great time coming back to the music, and I feel like you can really tell because of the content of the songs, but also just the way they sound.
Do you think it maybe saved them?
It also could have saved them, both spiritually, professionally, and financially.
Mhm.
Absolutely, I think there were there's a lot of
Just as
meanings
San
there.
Francisco did.
Yes, and they went back to their roots, San Francisco, to record the album and whatnot. But the album is a bit of a comeback. They were so excited to get back in the studio with one another that they wrote over 80 songs for this album,
That's a lot.
which is a lot. And I wonder, again,
If they were
like,
Morgan Wallen, every one of those songs would have gotten made.
we just I wonder what songs moved on, we'll save that one for later, or if they just never tapped
Oh yeah,
into,
did they also write California 37?
right.
And that's
then
why
they
it's so
just-
good.
Right, because the Rolling Stones famously did that. The album Tattoo You was just extra from Some Girls, and so it's why don't reinvent the wheel? If the songs sound good, then just throw them together and put out an album. But I don't know. It doesn't say anything about that. And maybe if we ever have Pat Monahan, that would be like a dream guest to have on this show. I
Or
think.
we could go on Train Tracks on the Pulse.
Yeah, duh. I mean, we've got more 5-star ratings than some Grind City Media podcasts. So put us on Train Tracks, Pat. God.
Yes, so we could go. I don't know where they broadcast Train Tracks from.
I'd assume
Probably
either California.
California, but I know that Life is
Life
from
is
New
in
York.
Yeah. So,
We could be
awesome.
on both of them.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to just casually run into John. On
Like, where
Fifth
is
or
the
something.
Sirius XM office in Manhattan?
We can find it. Just camp out.
Yeah.
Anyway, And he, from what I understand, John's a very like approachable guy. Like he'll take a picture with you. He'll, chat
Kiss
with
you on the
for a second.
mouth.
He'll, give your legs a massage.
Yeah. All y'all would be really happy about any of those things.
He'll pop your back. He'd be like, "Oh, I see your back needs. Turn around. Do the
You look a little
interlock
stiff,
things,"
dude.
and, he's
This is
got
what
you.
I do to Andy Cohen every night.
He's got you covered. But no, the album's great. It's one of their best, and definitely makes me think about that era of listening to a bunch of CDs and burning them to my iPod and whatnot. And I used to get so annoyed sometimes when, because this was era of like iTunes, right? And so like you had to burn the CD to iTunes, and I always used to get like so mad when like all of the data for the song didn't carry over
And you have
into
to re-put it
iTunes.
in.
But no, like especially that, because it would say like track 1, track 2, track, and you're like, bruh. So then you have to type it in, but then like it didn't have the album cover either, and so you have to go find the album cover, which genuinely it didn't matter initially, but like I love looking at album covers, right? Like big collector of physical media here, so I think that's a big part of the listening experience as well. It didn't matter as much when iPods didn't have screens, but then when they started to have
like
screens, then
it
I got
doesn't matter
annoyed.
on your shuffle, but it matters on your nano.
Right, because it's like I didn't want to just look at the picture of the little eighth note music, stock image that it would pull up. So that was just something that went through my head. And sometimes when you went to like click to link it to the iTunes store, because sometimes they could pull data from the store, sometimes I wouldn't always pull it depending on which like version of the CD that you had. So
No, yeah, it was.
struggles.
It was a lot of struggles.
9-year-old Mike. And there were
My dad
also,
would do it for me until then. Like, when I was like 5th grade or so, I started doing it myself.
There were also like certain computers in my house that had the CD drive, So it was like if somebody was using it, it's like, oh, I can't use it until somebody's done, or it's just a whole struggle. The kids these days would just never understand. I mean, really. But alas.
Well, my dad didn't get Spotify until last year.
I was a very early customer of Spotify. I can prove it. Some of like the songs that I've liked, it'll tell you the date that you liked them. I mean, I've got songs that were liked in early 2015, and they still say like that date that they were liked. So I was on the Spotify train very, very early.
I was a slightly early adopter of streaming, but I had the Apple Music because I had so many CDs ripped to my iTunes.
Right.
And if you had it on Apple Music, then it still had all the stuff that you had downloaded onto your device. It still had all the things that you'd gotten from iTunes and had ripped from CDs and stuff, and I didn't want to have to switch to something new when I had done all that work that we were just talking about for my stuff in the music app. But then when things started coming around, being like you can transfer everything over, and it was like an app that would transfer it for you, that was how Mike convinced me into switching to Spotify a couple of years ago.
And no hate to Apple Music. It's fine. I just think Spotify's better. There's just more features. There's more.
The number one thing that's better about Spotify is adding things to the queue.
Adding things to the queue, but also like there's more personalization to Spotify. Like the daily mixes, the day lists now.
Day list check. Day list alert. Day list
What-
alert.
What are we working with? I always love it when people post their day list too on,
Some of them are weird
because
though.
they are quite strange. Okay, day list check for me. Funk Festival Sunday afternoon. I don't even know what some of this stuff is.
Not the
heck?
Funk Festival. Mine is Mountain Music Pumpkin Spice Afternoon.
Pumpkin Spice. It's February.
I know, right? This is a weird playlist. It has a lot of the 1975 and also Morgan Wallen and Noah Khan.
Now I'm like, I see one Pearl Jam
I
song.
kind of like this playlist.
I see one Pearl Jam song on here, and then everything else I've literally never heard of some of these.
A lot of these songs I actually listen to a lot.
Actually, I say some of these, like, literally all of these, like, The Mindless Matters, Ominous Sea Pods,
Ooh, scary.
Super Gravity, like, I have no idea who these people are.
Like,
yeah, it's like, okay, so there's all these, like,
This is
obscure
really
bands,
interesting.
and then it's just, like, a live version of Daughter from Pearl Jam. okay, whatever. AI tweaking this morning, I suppose.
Mine is good. Mine had country and alternative. That's what I listen to every day.
I think most of the time my daylist are good, but also I pulled it up and I saw. Did you see Billy Joel released a new single?
What?
Yeah. It's been like years, I think decades since that man has like.
Why
put
did
out
he
new
do that?
content. I'm not sure. I haven't listened to it. I don't know how it is.
I thought he was like trying to slow it down.
I think he was, because he's like what he announced as like final garden show.
Yeah.
Over the summer or something. So, I don't. And I mean, the single release. That's crazy. I don't know.
That's wild.
Anywho, so switching to the song, "If It's Love," it's obviously a love song, right?
No way.
Yeah, who would have thought? But it's actually about Pat's love for the fan base,
Oh.
which is kind of cute. But it can also be taken as like a, a partner kind of love song, which I think is fun. But he wrote it with the intent of kind of being a love letter to the fans, which is
or
fun.
maybe to Rock.
Maybe to his son. Rock
It's funny to
Monahan.
think about him being named after like a rock, like not like of like the rock music.
Yeah.
This is my son, Rock.
And one day
He's as dumb as a rock.
I was just strolling through the park and I just saw this.
The most beautiful rock.
And when wife was pregnant at the time, we were trying to think of names, and then it hit me.
Rock.
But it's kind of cute when artists like include a little love letter to the fans and albums and show their appreciation in that way, because then like in a live experience when they play this song, it's got to feel like nice for them and very rewarding for them to just have that like have the fans like sing those words back to them.
Yeah.
Especially if the fans don't know that it's like for them, right? Because it's kind of like, aha, you think this is just a general love song, but it's like, the way that the band feels about you. I think that's kind of a fun experience.
That's
personally. Yeah. The music video for the song, fun fact, you want to take a guess at who it was directed by?
cute. Well, I already read it, so I can't take a guess.
You never look at the computer
I'm
at the show
sorry.
notes. But today she's looked at she's spoiled all the surprises. I can't ask her any trivia questions.
I'm sorry. It's right at my face today.
And it's really not. It's in the same location as always. But today, for some reason, you've got the wandering, you got the faraway eyes today, I suppose.
Sorry.
But yeah, Pete Wentz directed this music video. Oh, I didn't know
It's
he
so
was.
strange.
I didn't know he was big. I know he like directed some of the Fall Out Boy stuff,
Yeah.
but not Train in 2009. So that had been like just after Folly Ado. Pete's like, yeah, let's go direct some Train music videos.
Well, maybe he thought he was like gonna get into that because like they were taking their hiatus,
That's
and
right.
maybe he's like, oh no, I'm a director.
Yeah.
Definitely never gonna go back and be in Fall Out Boy again.
Yeah, because he also became like super big in Fueled by Ramen, right? Like he became like big businessman for.
Well, wasn't it his the whole time?
I think so, but I think like at that point it was like, oh, I have more time to dedicate to like the business side, but then also I guess directing Train music videos. So this song actually also made them tied for the second most chart-topping singles in history for the adult top 40 chart. So they tied their position with a band called Daughtry, and one of our faves, Matchbox 20. So shout out Rob.
Yeah, I mean we talk about it a lot, but a double bill with Train and Matchbox 20 would slap.
Yeah, that would.
The mums would be hype.
I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell.
The pit would be wild.
I'm finna be in the pit.
I finna be in the pit.
Wild. And all of those bands trail, of course, Nickelback. Single generating machines, Nickelback. So
What's your favorite Nickelback song?
dang, what I mean, I think like Rockstar is like it's up there.
It's awesome.
Let's look at a list of Nickelback's discography, shall we? there was this one Nickelback song. It was kind of obscure that they played at the line dancing place. But I wouldn't say that, but it was a fun line dance. Burn It to the Ground is really good. So yeah, I would say
Not the
Rockstar.
2020 remasters. They remastered one of
Bro.
their albums in 2020.
They said we got nothing better to do. Let's remaster this album. So yeah, I would say either Rockstar or Burn It to
Rockstar
the
slaps. If
Ground.
you say that you don't like it, like you are lying. Like you can't pretend it's
the
not
numbers
awesome.
back it up. Okay, that's all I'm saying. The numbers don't lie. And
They spelled disaster for
you
you.
at listening to Nickelback.
See, Joe, the numbers don't lie.
So, yeah, the Train's only behind Nickelback with that regard, but they still have, the opportunity. I feel like Train's not done. They could probably release another album or two that could really appeal to the masses. So maybe they can take the number one spot. Things I love about the song. The drum sound is phenomenal. Love the drum parts. Love the drum groove. It's goofy. It's got like lots of obscure 90s and 2000s references, and Pat likes to do that thing. It's not rapping. It's more just like stream of consciousness, but it rhymes. A little bit more poetic in that regard.
I mean, I think I probably said this in the other episode, but I think Pat Monahan is one of the best songwriters, maybe ever, at least of the 21st century. The
That's a
man
fair take.
can put so many words into a song, and it can sound so good. He can.
It doesn't ever sound too busy.
No, but he's stuffing story into every song.
It's like a Thanksgiving turkey, man. He's stuffing it. But the harmonies are great. Always love it when we put it on the song or if it comes on the radio. And Im's just so talented with the harmonies, and so her voice really meshes well with Pat's on those harmonies.
Oh, thanks.
And then I like the dual purpose of it. You could use it as like a partner love song, but it's also for the band's like gratification of their fans. So it's a fun song overall. But what's your lady take?
I mean, I've loved this song for a long time. It's a great one. I think it's very sweet. When I hear the song, I think about, I don't know if you remember this, and it could be one of those things that's like an amalgamation of memories, and I think it's one time. But I remember one time, you came to visit me in Tuscaloosa, and we were gonna leave the next day, and we like went driving around at night.
We used to do
And
that.
we
It was like
listened to it.
the trip's kind of over.
Oh, the worst.
I know.
Because I would always start crying. But we were listening to it, and it was sweet, and you went to go get gas.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Ruined a moment with getting gas.
Yeah, you
guess
did
that's-
pull
that's-
over to get gas.
That's better than having gas.
I might have preferred you having gas. That would have been funny.
I don't know. You know what they say. Doesn't pay rent. It's got to go.
That's
Gotta
what
let it out.
you and Tommy say.
So what's your that's a fond memory. I like that. But what's your everyday jam this week?
I'm gonna throw it back. As my day list suggested, with the amount of 1975, with like how cold it's been, I don't know. I've been like listening to more like 1975 vibes. So I'm gonna say, as I did, maybe about a month and a half ago, I had whenever we talked about the 1975, I had If You're Too Shy, Let Me Know is my everyday jam. I'm gonna say that again.
Bring it back. Cool. Now let's do our major and minor chords, which is the segment in which we talk about our respective high and lows of the week. I'll start. My
start.
minor is I don't really have a lot on my current jams playlist right now. And I always feel like those are confusing times for me because like
Who am I?
Right, literally I start to have like a little bit of a mental kind of block because I don't want to remove anything that's on it because there's not a lot on it, but at the same time I don't really want to listen to what's on it. So send me some music, and that would be great, thanks. But major, I would say I've been keeping up with my running, with my half marathon training plan. The first like real big challenge was last week of 8 miles, and I did it with like no issues. And even the next day there was like minimal pain. And so like I think with the combination, like I've been trying to sprinkle in a lot of hills, and like I've been trying to like play around with like speeds and paces and whatnot and try to do intervals. And so like I feel at least in my heart like really strong. I still getting some like knee pain, some shin pain every once in a while, but like as far as like the endurance goes, like I feel like my body can do it a little bit easier than the last time I did it. So I'm very optimistic about the race that I've got on St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's great. If y'all want to support Mr. Mike, and really support the Red Cross, I'll put
Yes.
the link in the description.
I will be running the New
Help
York
him
City
out.
Half Marathon on Team Red Cross, the American Red Cross. So help me support a great cause, and it's a great time. We'll make a whole separate video for that day too.
Yeah, if you donate, we'll shout you out on the pod.
Shout you out on the pod. For every $5 you donate, you can decide a song that I listen to while I run the actual race. So just holla holla, and we will holla holla back at you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I've realized my minor chord, which, it's a good thing that it's not that serious, but I tried to use our popcorn air popper last night, and it doesn't work.
That's not true. It popped a whole bowl. It did what it was supposed to.
The popcorn is gross.
Well, I think we just need different seasoning. I think we just need to. It's not all hope is lost. It just we didn't have a good first experience. We will course correct and get back to you.
Well, okay, so the popcorn didn't taste good, but then after doing it once, I put more popcorn kernels in it to do it again because I wanted a sweet popcorn and a savory popcorn, and I was going for the sweet one, and it just started blowing out all of the kernels. I'm sure there was some error on my part. I don't know what it was because I can read, and I read the instructions, and it didn't work.
We'll try again. We'll try to use like
you can try again. I'm not touching it.
I'm gonna try with like the non-healthy stuff. Like we got the little Orville sprinkle
I don't want anything
whatever.
healthy in there.
But like I really want to try the like I want to melt some butter, like pour it on it kind of thing, like movie theater, like bring it on, because I think it's going somewhere. We just are novices when it comes to using a machine such as this.
I guess so. I really love the Orville Redenbacher microwave kettle corn, and I don't know if anything can compare to it. But anyways, my major chord is that we're 100 days from the wedding. Less than now.
By the time of this episode, it'd be 96.
Exciting.
So if you're listening today, we are 96 days away from getting married, which is awesome.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I've been like finalizing a lot of details.
Yeah, we're checking off so many boxes. We're being very proactive and getting a lot of stuff done. And also Mike's been doing his running, of course. And I've been, trying to keep up. I've been filling my rings every day.
She's been very active in the Pilates realm.
I do lots of Pilates with Apple Fitness Plus, but it has been making me very sore. Because I've been doing it like 4 to 5 days a week for like months now, but I've been doing it every single day. At least 20 minutes every single day. And it is hard. So I'm a little sore, but I think I'm firming up.
She's getting real strong. No more putting cup muscles. She's got real ones. She's got real muscles. She's gonna put Arnold Schwarzenegger to shame.
Mm-hmm.
the governor. So anyway, good stuff. I would also say a major of we've been doing this thing. Emma bought this like little whiteboard, put it on the fridge, and it's like been our weekly goals kind of checklist. And it's been fun. It's been like a little game to I'm very much a to-do list person. Like every time I go into work, I've got like my to-do list for the day, and like very much like a cross-off kind of guy. And so
I think it's helping us.
Yeah, it's nice to have that at home too. and just to
Because we say
visualize
we're
stuff.
going to do stuff, we'll be like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. And it's
And
like,
then we
we
don't
don't do it. But writing it down, you're going to do it.
Right, and we've been doing some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like looking over there. I don't, we accomplished everything from last week. We had some things that happen, uncontrollable things happen this week that prevent us
Yeah.
from doing some of the other stuff. But next week you're going down. Gonna get all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so let's head to our last segment of the episode, which is our honorable mentions, the songs that almost made the cut, or are of the similar theme or mindset of today's episode. So first, another fantastic Train song. Go listen to "Mermaid" by Train.
Beauty in the water, angel on the beach, ocean's daughter. I thought love was out of reach till I got her.
Second up on the list, I don't know if I've got like a hankering to like listen to watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, since we've like mentioned it a couple times in the past couple episodes. And it's interesting that I mentioned this song because it's nowhere near that soundtrack of the album or of the movie, but it feels like it should be. It's got kind of the same vibe. So go listen to "Love the One You're With" by Crosby, Stills and Nash.
And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with.
But yeah, nowhere near that soundtrack. I mean, like the movie's, takes place in '69. I'm pretty sure that album came out in like 1980. Like it's nowhere near it, but it sounds like it should be.
Okay.
It makes sense to me.
Okay.
So deal with it. And last but not least, recently, a man by the name of Tallahassee Payne, aka T-Pain, blessed the earth with a cover album, and a live cover album at that. I don't think anybody knew he was like up to this or was like doing it.
He's
but,
just doing his own stuff. He got a podcast. He does like gaming streams. Like the man is busy.
like all of a sudden
He's all over everything.
it was like all over social media, like him covering a bunch of songs, and then there was like this album of him covering stuff, and it is just curious but also just so funny to me that he covered "I Don't Want to Be" by Gavin DeGraw.
Because that's the whitest culture. Gavin DeGraw is white culture.
But it sounds so
Yeah,
good.
it's good.
Like he's got some choir backs him up too, like some backup singers, and like they.
My
just
favorite part is that the backup sitters or singers are sitting.
backup sitters.
They are backup
Which I
sitters.
guess
They're
they are
sitting
backup
down.
sitters. But I mean, whoa, put some headphones on, listen to that. It'll give you some chills.
It's good.
Tallahassee Payne is talented. So the T in T-Pain not only stands for Tallahassee, but also talent.
I'm tired of looking around, wondering what I'm supposed to do, or who I'm supposed to be. I don't want to be anything other than me.
Talent and pain. Yay. That's going to do it for us this week, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking, subscribing, doing all the engagement pieces, comments.
Give us more 5-star ratings on Spotify. Will be even better than Grind City Media.
I know again, stock's going up. Just you wait and see. But appreciate the time and the listen and the follow and the subscription and the like and the comment. We'll see you next week as we continue through February.